Tamara.
Tamara, and why do you love Shaun?
I've loved Shaun since 1977. I had all his albums. I saw him here in Providence.
Oh my God.
In 1978.
You like in her face.
At the Civic Center, and I've been waiting 47 years to see him again. And my husband came with me because I've been talking about
That's great.
ever since we've known each other. He said,
She's never been so excited.
Yeah, and I shook his hand, and I'll never wash my hand again.
Hi. This night was so incredibly amazing, and this is my experience meeting Shaun Cassidy, the teen idol of all teen idols. Well, in my generation anyway. Maybe yours too. Can I just tell you, I smiled all the way in my car back to the studio here. I'm literally just fresh off the Shaun Cassidy show and being blessed to meet him. All right, let's go through the night. I have notes on my phone. So first it started off, we got to the venue. Al had been there for hours already setting up. He's so good. He's a good doobie. And he got everything ready to go, for the evening. We're at the Greenwich Odeum. Fantastic venue located in East Greenwich, Rhode Island. It is the best, truly. The acoustics, the intimate setting, everything about it is perfect. I get there and he's like, okay, now go and talk to people. I'm like, what? Hold on for a second, because what happened was the meet and greet was starting. This is driving me crazy. So I'm going to hold on to this. Okay. This cord that you can't see, which is good. I said, well, the meet and greet is going to start. I'm going to go and listen to Shaun Cassidy because, oh my gosh, all right, can I back it up again? Here we go. I'm sorry. I literally I saw him half an hour ago. So this is pretty fun. I grew up with Shaun Cassidy posters on my bedroom wall. I mean, literally, I think that the amount of ladies who did the same, there are a lot of us, and we probably could have a t-shirt, I slept with Shaun Cassidy. I mean, and there's going to be millions of those t-shirts because he was in all of our bedrooms. And I'm not kidding you. So I did have a love for Shaun. And at the age of 10, I said I was going to marry Shaun Cassidy, not realizing that was probably not, in his best interest to marry a 10-year-old, and it wouldn't have happened. So anyway, I've always loved Shaun Cassidy. Hardy Boys, Did You Run? That's Rock and Roll. I mean, all of it. I just adored him. He was like the preppy brother out of the Cassidy brothers, right? David was like the rock and roll guy. He was the Partridge Family guy who, I think girls went crazier over him than the Beatles at that point in time, right? It was insanity. But Shaun was like the reserved rock star, even though the ladies went nuts over him. Now remember, I was only 10, so I did not go and see a Shaun Cassidy concert. Did I want to? Of course I did. My father was not taking me to see Shaun Cassidy. But I'll tell you a story about somebody else, all right, in just a minute. I know I'm so excited, I can't even help myself. Anyway, so I loved Shaun Cassidy. I still love Shaun Cassidy. I love him even more now. But anyway, Tiger Beat, he was on the cover of pretty much every single Tiger Beat magazine. There was that, reading all of the stories, the love letters to Shaun, blah, 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 the whole 9 yards. Fast forward decades later, I said, oh my God, Shaun Cassidy is like on tour. What is this? What is happening right now? And Al gets his hands on it and he starts, promoting the fact that Shaun Cassidy is coming to East Greenwich, Rhode Island. I'm like, oh my God. So clearly we were there. We broadcast from the Greenwich Odeum, which was so amazing. And now we get to the part of the story. Al says, here's a microphone, go talk to people. What? But me being me, of course, I know how to talk about Shaun Cassidy and to get people going. And the ladies wanted to talk. There were a couple of gentlemen who, they were with their wives, which was great. They were being supportive husbands, but it was mostly women there tonight. Can I just back up again? Let's go through my notes. I know I am a squirrel right now. I'm a Shaun squirrel. So this is what happened. The meet and greet, I was sitting like in the balcony and watching the meet and greet. Now there were about 80 people who are all very, very excited about Shaun Cassidy coming onto that stage. His tour manager brought him out, and the second he walked on that stage, I have to say, now I was far away, but it was as if my childhood was happening all over again. but in a different kind of way. It's so hard to explain, because again, this is like a teen idol thing. It's not, the artists we go and see like Lou Graham and Journey and all of it. It's just different than going to see a rock star. This is a teen idol. Someone, he's singing songs, no social media, really. We just had the magazines and TV if he's on a variety show or something like that. We didn't have anything. So he was just, oh my gosh, I'm sounding like such a goofball right now, but I can't help it. And this is what we had. So I'm asking all of these ladies, I'm just going up to people saying, well, what do you love about Shaun Cassidy? Well, he was my first crush, my first love, the first concert I went to. And it was really those answers all across the board. Those were the 3 top answers. No question, like hands down. I talked to several people. They were all on the radio on Kiki.fm. So that was fun. I didn't film any of it because I was too busy talking to them, which was great. Oh my God, let me go back to the meet and greet. I need to slow my roll here because I'm just getting ahead of myself. It was just so fun. I can't help it. Okay, so they're doing the meet and greet. Everybody's waiting for him to come on stage. He comes on stage and I told you how I felt. I felt like a kid in an old woman's body. I mean, it was just the weirdest vibe, but yet so good at the same time. He comes out. This was his first time back in Rhode Island since, gosh, what do you say, 1978, I think. Isn't that crazy? He hasn't been to Rhode Island since, but he lives in California. So why would he come here? Especially if he's not performing. So he said that, and again, like you have preconceived notions of these entertainers, but this is what he said. He talked about his mom, who of course is Shirley Jones. He talked to his mom on the way to the venue. She's 91 years old. And he said, yeah, I just talked to my mom a little while ago. I was on my way here and she's doing great. Of course, Shaun Cassidy talks to his mom all the time because that's what you would think he would do because he's Shaun Cassidy. Like you just get the vibe that he's such a nice guy, and he is such a nice guy, full of emotion too. We'll get to that as well. So anyway, and can I tell you a funny story about, and I've told this on my show before, but I will tell you now. I watched the Partridge Family growing up. I listened to Shaun Cassidy records. I had his records. I watched the Hardy Boys. Of course, I was adopted. So I always had this thing in my head that Shirley Jones was my biological mother. I've said this many, many times throughout my lifetime. I thought about if I had ever interviewed Shaun Cassidy, which hopefully I will get to do, I will tell him that. But I won't tell him that because I feel like he would be really weirded out by me at that point. He would say, you're a weirdo. Click.
I'll let you in on a little secret if you promise to keep it to yourself. We never quite outgrow making mistakes.
So I'm not going to tell him, but I'm telling the story here because that was a running thing in my mind for years and years and years, that Shirley Jones was my biological mother. However, I did meet the woman who birthed me, and it was not Shirley Jones. So we will clear that up. He goes on to talk about more things. He looks great. Shaun Cassidy, of course, he doesn't look like he did in 1977, but I think he looks better, to be quite honest. He's still adorable, because that was the word for Shaun Cassidy. He was adorable. I was 10. I wasn't using the word sexy when I was 10. I was using adorable. I love him. I going to marry him. No, I didn't talk like that when I was 10. I did talk like a proper person. I didn't say I going to marry him like I was 3. I was 10. So I said, I am going to marry him. And, heart, I love you, Shaun, notebooks, sit in school doodling, all the whole 9 years. I did it. But anyway, he also said about his mom, again, sweet Shaun, sweet Shaun. He said that he would be singing one of her songs during the show tonight. And he told her when he talked to her on the phone that he will be thinking of her while he sings the song. Be Still My Heart. I mean, how do you not love him more now? I just loved him more every second as every second went on. Here is a fun fact though, kids. Oh my gosh. So someone in the audience asked because he sang on the Hardy Boys. So someone asked the musicians from the Hardy Boys went out on tour with him. And he said, well, great question, by the way. The musicians on the Hardy Boys didn't play instruments. And then I'm thinking, Monkees, right? They didn't play instruments. Partridge Family, they didn't play instruments either. Well, one of the musicians, even though he's a real musician, this person who was on the Hardy Boys. Now get this, I was in shook by this. Steve Lukather was the guitar player on the Hardy Boys. So now we have to go back and find some of these episodes to see Steve Lukather, which is just crazy. He said he pretended to play on the Hardy Boys, and he did play on some of Shaun's records. Who knew? I didn't know Steve Lukather played on some of Shaun Cassidy's records. So there's your fun fact. And also, Eric Carmen, the late, great Eric Carmen, wrote Hey Deanie. Hey Deanie, won't you come out tonight? Stars are dancing like diamonds in the moonlight. Eric Carmen wrote that. Like, full of fun facts. Another story that Shaun told, and you still need to go, you need to go see Shaun Cassidy, by the way. He is doing, I think he already has 51 dates booked for next year. That's just as of right now. I think he's going to go hem-haw on 2026. So get your tickets. As soon as you see them go on sale, go and see Shaun Cassidy. It was such a fun show. It really was. I'm so happy. Hold the phone. He did tell a really cool story about the time when he was 15 years old. And I think he was at the Rainbow Room. Yes, he was at the Rainbow Room. And Keith Moon was there. The late Keith Moon. He was drunk one night. Shaun Cassidy walked Keith Moon home to Shaun Cassidy's house, and Keith Moon slept in Shaun Cassidy's room. And Shaun Cassidy said, I loved Keith Moon. Like, I absolutely was in love with Keith Moon. And Shaun also said that he had a Who poster right above his bed, and Keith was kind of freaked out by it when he laid down and saw a Who poster right above his head. And then Shaun also went on to say that the Who is like one of his favorite bands of all time. And I hope I got the story straight. When Keith woke up in the morning, he saw a picture of Shirley Jones, and Shaun told him that was his mom. And Keith Moon's like, well, I love her. Can I meet her? And Shaun proceeded to say, no, because my mom will be mad that I have a drunk Keith Moon in my room and I'm only 15 and I shouldn't have been out that late. So that didn't happen, but he continued a friendship with Keith Moon and would go over to his house. Like, how crazy is that? So Shaun's got some stories, but remember, Shaun is really rock royalty, right? I mean, his mom, Shirley Jones, amazing woman who was in everything, won all kinds of awards. And the late Jack Cassidy was his dad. I mean, Broadway superstar, Jack Cassidy. So Shaun, comes from a very privileged and iconic background, but he's so humble and down to earth. It's just crazy. Shaun and his wife Tracy also have a ton of animals. They have, what did he say? They have 2 pigs and a 50-year-old tortoise, 2 cats, 2 dogs, and a humongous rabbit. And I think there's more. He has all kinds of animals. They love animals. He actually wrote the show American Gothic. I never watched that show, but I guess it was very dark and funny. So I'm going to go look it up, and I'm going to see if there are some episodes online that I can watch, because it sounds like it was a very popular show. And this was after, of course, American Gothic was what? Early 90s. American Gothic came out after his whole teen idol career had just kind of faded away. I mean, we all knew Shaun Cassidy was still there, but he wasn't there. He wasn't out there. He said he just stayed home. He was married. He had a few children, and he didn't like the life of being famous, which is so crazy. Some people yearn for that and want that, but he wasn't interested in it. So he was a homebody, a dad, husband, and he was married twice before he got married to his current wife, Tracy. And I think he said they've been married 22 years. And when he came out with American Gothic, that was really what he wanted to do. He wanted to write and produce and direct, and he did all of that. And that was making him very, very happy. And he did say that now, in order for him to leave his family for 12 hours a day, he has to be able to like the people that he works with. He doesn't do it for the money, but of course, everybody does stuff for money, right? The money's got to be good. A fan did go on to thank Shaun about how he treats his fans. And, I'll put that down for a second. You could tell he really is thankful for his fans, just the way he was connecting with the audience and answering the questions, and his whole demeanor and the whole vibe of Shaun Cassidy. You could just tell he wanted to be there. He is doing this because he probably misses it. It's been so long. It's been so long since I found you. Anyway, why do I do that? I don't know. If lyrics come into my head, it just comes out. I can't help myself. You can just tell that this man is ready to take on his past today and bring it to all of us. And I got to tell you, everybody was just happy. It was a happy vibe. I have more notes, but now I have to just go based on, my feelings and my heart and my soul. And it was a great show. It was really a great show. To see today Shaun Cassidy perform for an hour and a half straight. I mean, the guy was sweating. I'm like, can I wipe your brow? No, let's not be like that, girl. Come on now. You're a grown ass adult. Stop doing that. I would have wiped it. I would have. Trust me. Many of the ladies there would have, maybe even a couple of guys. I don't know, but I saw mostly women tonight. I'm just saying. And I want to backpedal a little bit again, talking to the people that I did before the show. Happy vibe. They were very excited to see Shaun. Some had never seen him before. Some had not seen him since they were 11. A friend of mine, Kathy, was there with her best friend. Their dads took them to see Shaun Cassidy in Providence, Rhode Island. It was known as the Civic Center then. Took them to see Shaun Cassidy. I mean, like good dads. Both of them were just so excited out of their skin to be at this show tonight. And that's where, it just takes us back to a simpler time, a time when social media was not existing, a time when we literally sat down and thumbed through magazines, a time when we would just talk on the phone, a time when, we wouldn't get stressed out if someone said something about us online or didn't like something we put online. It was just simple, happy, putting our records on the record player, and just sitting there on the floor of our bedroom, looking up at all the posters we had on the walls and thinking about being in a different place, being with these people, They are people, even though we didn't think of them as people back in the day. We just didn't. But, today, Shaun Cassidy, the humongous teen idol that he was, I truly feel that him being back out here now is just going to bring so much more happiness and joy to the world. I do. I really do. It's just going back and sitting there. It was just weird to me in a good way because I'm going, I feel like I'm 10, but I'm almost 60. So I can't understand the feelings that I'm feeling, but they're good. They're all good feelings. And it was so fun looking around at everyone just enjoying the show. There was a woman in front of me and she pretty much danced the whole night, and Shaun kept looking over at her and giving her a smile. And that's what it's all about. Getting up and dancing and feeling the music. And that was another thing that I found wonderful tonight. During the meet and greet, his tour manager said, you could take a picture, but please don't post them, no videos, and we're asking for the same at the show. And there was an announcement made to please put your phones away. Of course, people were snapping pictures. I snapped a few. I will not be posting. I took a couple of short video clips. I won't be posting them because you have to respect what was being asked of you. There were a lot of people videotaping. Well, do you call it that? And do you call it videotaping when you're filming on your phone, or do you just call it filming on your phone? See how old school I am? Well, anyway, a lot of people were filming on their phones, and I just didn't want to disrespect. I wanted to enjoy the show. I think that's something Shaun brought to all of us tonight. Put your phone down, enjoy the moment, and look at him like I did the whole show. I don't think my eyes really came off of Shaun Cassidy. I just looked at him and smiled because those were good times. Those were just fun memories, great moments in my life, took me back to my childhood and just enjoying the moment. This is the morning after. That sounds kind of weird, but it's the morning after I saw Shaun Cassidy last night at the Greenwich Odeum in East Greenwich, Rhode Island. I felt compelled to do a follow-up video before I ended this because I was such a happy squirrel last night. After I saw the show and I went back to the studio, I recorded a video right away to continue my excitement. And I have to say, I was like here, I was there, I was everywhere, and I felt that I missed some important points. One of them being, well, is Shaun Cassidy still musically wonderful to listen to? Yes. There was no auto-tune. He was pure Shaun. And I think that is a very important part of his show. He also played the piano. He played the guitar. He was great. Now, if he had a teleprompter, I have no idea, because he really made the show seem like it came completely from his heart. And I'm not saying it didn't. It totally, you could tell he was telling his stories and he was singing his songs directly from inside of him. However, how he did it with no notes or anything like that, I don't know. Did he have a you couldn't tell. That's basically my point. You could not tell if the man had a teleprompter. He just, you didn't think he did. He just was so invested in getting on that stage and being a perfectionist, but in a fun way, if that makes any sense. And I feel that's just what he delivered. I have my notes here on paper with a pen, not no digital stuff. That's how old school I am. So I'm just looking at my notes. Now, when my husband was packing up and leaving for the evening, he said literally there were about 200 happy fans outside the venue last night, hoping to get a glimpse of Shaun or a picture with Shaun. And I have to say, I don't know what happened there, but the feeling of the night was happiness. Come on, get happy. I know, that's the Partridge Family. David Cassidy was in the Partridge Family. Shaun was not. However, he did tell some stories about him and the Partridge Family set. So that was really cool. So if you have yet to get a ticket to see Shaun Cassidy, you're a Shaun Cassidy lover, as I am, and so many people there, everyone there last night were Shaun Cassidy lovers, go and get your ticket. And I highly, highly suggest you get the meet and greet, because he just does go into more of his stories. I loved hearing the stories. I actually would have loved to have heard more stories during the show. I loved hearing him sing, of course. He's on the stage and I'm going, my husband said, my gosh, I was looking at you, watching him, and you just smiled the whole time. And I'm still happy. I feel like my face is still like in that mode. And that's what the teen idols that we grew up with did for us then. And I really do think that's what they're going to do for us today at our age. I'm blessed. And I think that if you were at the show last night, you feel the same way.
And then I had the opportunity, the blessing to meet Shaun for a few minutes. And when I tell you what a kind spirit, and you could feel it from his whole show, you could tell he's a nice man, super nice person. And, I think I shrieked a little bit when I first saw him, like, I did that, which is embarrassing, but I couldn't help it. And he was so warm and so welcoming. And there were a couple of other really nice ladies in the room as well. And I got to tell you, what a great guy. What a great, great person and a great performer. He did a lot of different types of songs, and he loved it, every single minute of it. And he thanked everybody for coming out, and he meant it. This wasn't a canned response. This wasn't something that you hear all of the time. Oh, thanks for coming. I appreciate you. No, he truly appreciated everyone being there. It was a wonderful night. I can't say enough good about it. I think I'm going to be smiling nonstop for the next few days. And this is what we all need. So guys, go and see Shaun Cassidy when he performs near you. He will be. He's got so many shows coming up. It's incredible. And I'm glad to see him back out there. And who knows, maybe we'll see some more of our teen idols that we grew up with and fantasized about and loved. I would love to see Leif. I called him Leaf. A lot of people I know called him Leaf. I get a lot of slack for that. But I got to tell you, I've been taking a poll. A lot of people called him Leaf, and we were true fans. So I love Leaf Garrett. To see, if he could get back out there and do a show, people would go see him. And I think this whole teen idol thing from the 70s coming back is just bringing a bunch of goodness into the world. And we need that. All you need is love. All you need is Shaun Cassidy. Go and see a Shaun Cassidy show. Guys, I love you, love you, love you. And I will see you soon.